Ribano yaso damba deva yaba jita jamba yavanda Kala yarva lana meba lana manam ja dambanya Kyaja jalbe shabja da dhamma meba la gobe rabda dud Zaloi gongze gonye zava jadam ze sachandala gamba dambur Nganan jiten dana joje zon dese geba jola yonzal Nanda gungan jona zezon wa yeke jando zeja lambon Jida zana lame wa gomba joja jala yonzal Zenjo demba jume dave ya zendo dava jola yonzal Doda joda zuba zaman jen yame jen jen jala yonzal Gomba de jen jedamba dam jen jembe demba Sanam yade jante jen de jen jala yonzal Dabe daja dave je geve ngason le doi Jeda denda joja va yeja jala yonzal Done dove lamyon de laba dala radag Kenga damba yanden de gandala yonzalo deva jayamaye Gava bazan zoba ye ronga zeneyo Dumbayan gama dada mame don yama zoba jo Lona danda de je jena de da zanam de ye dam je zeba Dona nyemba dana ba ye ga na je bala dubai Zoba zalen dova yo Taje de yu de jam de samo no va ye ya va ju je nam dong je ding en zan la nyam ba yu zo yong di Hyong je zamba jen ba ba yen re se on yu he ra je pa ro da hyong ba sa me kyo ba nya la nam ba Kumba ngabo de da la yon rong shan je dong ba nam ba da wo de ne song je jen tu se dong den ba sha zhe bu xiong che sen ba jen bo ba jen re Nong xue lan de ge je me so re je ba gong la xe ra je ba ro de xiong ba sa me xio ba xe ba do ba de je da la Te ge je me ba dong xiong che sen ba jen bo ba jen re se on xue ge se dong den ba xia ran do de ge je me so re ba re je ba la la Xi ra je pa ro da xiong ba sa me xio ba xe ba do ba de da nam ba da ba xia de pong bo nga bo de Yodaba Jesa Tawa, Zutombawa, Tombanya, Zuxo, Zule, Tombanya, Yamayano, Tombanya, Legion, Zujan. Yanda Tova, Don the Ye, Don Number the Sheba, Nam Don Wavo, Shader, Deda, Chu Tamje, Tomba, Nidde, Zanya. Maheba, Mangaba, Jama, Meba, Jama, Don Tawa, Meba, Java, Meba, Gomba, Meba, Shader, Deda, Vena, Tomba, Nilla, Zume, Zo. The Yemen, number the Sheba me, Nava me, Name, Jeme, Lume, Yeme, Zume, Dame, Jome, Rome, Chumedo, Mega Kame, Bani, Yeja Kame, Yeja number the Sheba, Kamja, Pado, Medo, Mareba, Seba, Mebani, Gaja, Megaja. Padre Medo, Tejanda, Dunhavadon, Gunjobadon, Gobadon, Lame, Yeshime, Tobame, Madoban, Medo, Shareba, Ted. Shonche Zamba Namla, Toba, Mebesha, Shiraja, Paroda, Shambala, Tenji, Nide, Sala, Duba, Mebe, Toba, Mede, Shanja, Loli, Shanja. Yamele, Badantat Shando, Tusanda, number Jukbo, Sonje, Tamche, Jon, Shiraja, Paroda, Shambala, Teni, Lana, Meba, Zobe, Shonche, Number Zoba, Zonje, Teta, Shiraja, Paroda, Shambe, not Rikwa, Jamba, not Lana, Meba, Manya, Badon, Yamba, Sheba. Dumadan Jarada Java Jabanga Mazabena Demba Sheba Shade Shiraja Barada Jumbe Nameba Teya Gade Bara Samgade Buddha Sova Sharuba Jonja Zemba Jembo Deda Shiraj Shamba Zamala Lava Java Tene Jamdende Dinganza Tele Jinde Jonja Zemba Jembo Baba Jereze Onjula Leso Shishava Jane Leso Rikjaba Tede Abadana Jaja Demba Tejanda Shiraja Barada Shamba Zamala Jaba Shade Tejan Jaba Namjon Jesa Yerongo Jamden Dije Tegeji Gazane Zedon Demba Sharando De Podon Shonjazem Jembo Jereze Onju Don Tanje Don Demben Kote Radon Ladon Madon Lama Yendon Tazaji Benji Den Yeronde Jamden Deja Sonwal Number Amga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga. They are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga de Bora. They are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so they are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some they are dumb Gadenga de Baranga de Bora, some got them body, so Mala, Shanzalo, Sonjela, Shanzalo, Chula, Shanzalo, Gendala, Shanzalo, Chimjama, Chiraja, Shanzala, Daga, Danda, Danda, Braja, Danga, Laya, Omba, Jajan, Raja, Barada, Jembe, Samo, Yella, Samji, Sikadanda, Shibala, Teni, the Dijala, Soba, Mandamba, Shot, Shudaba, Dejanda, Daga, Jayan, Jema, Shiraja, Barada, Jemba, Mother. Sikadanda, Shibala, Teni, the Dijala, Soba, Mandamba, Shot, Amja, Shodoba, Jaja, Meba, Jaja, Javaja, Radha, Javaja, Gonga, Denjenda, Jonga, Meba, Jemeba, Jeba, Meba, Dameba, Oma, Meba, Kadema, Denjema, Dubanya, Jujunamba, Zoba, Zonje, Manam, Tamba, Dela, Janzalo, Jana, Janza, Bema, Gaza, Dombala, Yanzan, Joga, Nudanya, Bema. Ganda Mamba Ganjaja Java Dada Jikinja Labja Java Zangara Bemazada Jaya Jana Yanza Bema Gazara Dombola Yanza Juk Padman Jona Java Dangadan Ganda Mamba Ganjaja Java Dada Jikinja Labja Java Zangara Bemazada Jaya Jana Yanza Bema Gaza Dombola Yanza Jogan Bema Jona Java Dangadan Ganda Mamba Ganjaja Java Dada Jikinja Labja Java Guru Bemazada Gaza Dosem Gara Yara Bema Gara Jamanya Sose Nanya Dede Jaza Gade Lama Nala Zovande Zane Zebe Jende Jonye Da Deje Londa Nyambe Nata Damba Bebe Dege Jen Gonde Juga Doba Lonjamba Jame Oze Jala Zovande Oma Jeja Yinja Borana Duza Zonje Gonjang Rosa Juga Nazan Denza Zara Lame Jala Zovande Yazawa Don Jeje Jaba Don Jeze Yadon Deje Gaya Jose Dage Jazaba Dage Dage Yonje Yango Zaya Buju Guje Medoda Zara Lige Nede Jamba Sonje Yela Midem Bawaye Doga Nanda Yela Yoba Yo Zanje Namja Zamba Don Loya Yedaj Jejan Dama Devaya Jejan Golo Gola Zoe Deza Jave Javan Jonye Dave Donjo Nyamgava Malen Doga Yonsa Donjen Doje Nyimbe Dendude Nyanza Mana Zimbe Lele Jude Yola Zejova Sulu Namdo Zama Lamje Shinda Jem Zawaya, Duzon Zonje Dan Jejango, Ridon Jango Jansu Jada, Garan Zomba Meba, Jansu Danya Badan Zawala Marum Watch, Shabji Bemada, Duma Mebala, Govera, the Gozan Gova, Jembe Goneja, Dajan Jason Jo, Dajan Sanjan Damje Janjela Banda, Dazo. Yinje Jambo Danya Masha, Zone Malam Jambo Majada, Bega Danga Sende Jamado, Demba Tuje Jende, Dajan, Ojan Zone Bema Dombe, Jale Namdo Ronjan Jit. Seven Fanya Beja Pambara, Bema Jona Dale Benzoro, Malo Jalve Sonsa Jede, Jede Danya Soma Jede Janjume, Dojede, the Salongo Jede, non Jit. Chupa Janzo Ganda Zanda Dama, Jambo Jara Long, the Mother Northern German German Jabba, the Meso, the Janjabo, so Ganda Rijat, Tujala Manda Yanshe, the Zonjan, the Bungavanya, Jambo Donze Gama Barala, so under the Dodgy Angel, Kaba Lando Gomba Dava, Noyan Dajan Jalando Oma Jaya Borana, the Zonja Ganja Mavanya, Ronsan Jagunga Zonda. Savela Megala Veranda, the Vonda Majula, Konda Georgia Donganji Dana, the Yellow Majava Gonzala, then the Gamba Jujan Jambe. Assemble the bottom gender here, Namaya, Dambalaya, Ganala, Dona Yanga, Devana, Namaya, Ganandon, Dova Ganja Dana Jadam, Tamjik, the Jendan Jerway. Limitless of the sentient beings, and every and each wish is the happiness. So, as well, each sentient beings, it has been our parents, relatives, family members. So therefore, they need help. Therefore, we should help each other. So in order to ultimately help, or ultimately really help is to be obtained enlightenment. So in order to helping sentient beings bring into the enlightenment, and then we ourselves also need omniscient, genuine kindness and power. So we need practicing this. We need generate bodhicitta, means sentient beings bring into the enlightenment, and for that then we are practicing Dharma, listening, reflection, meditation, and etc. So the limitless of sentient beings, may they do not know what the genuine cause and conditions for the happiness. So we, today here, we obtain precious human life. And that is the reason that we have able to listen in teachings. And our precious human life is also not really permanent. Our precious human life is every day, every moment are changing. All our circumstances are changing. All our precious life also changing. So therefore, we, how I should say, should not waste our precious time, precious opportunity. So how we should not waste our precious human life? So every single moment, if we use our actions into the virtue, in action from the mind, action verbally, action physically, and that is, we say, not wasting. Virtue action is only, brings or gives good result. So the Abhidhamma Kosha says all kind of the sentient beings, both content and containers, are just raised by the karma. So appears by the karma. So therefore, someone very clever, someone very dull, someone very beauty, someone very ugly, someone very happy, someone very sad. There's many various kind of sentient beings, and there's no one actually mad. No one mad. But just their own karma. That is Buddha's description. So producing of the virtue karma is really very important if you be happy, joy, wonderful. There's only solution is the collection of the virtue karma. So virtue karma, you can create many ways. Of course, we are listening Dharma, reflection on Dharma, meditation on Dharma that is also very high way of the way of collecting virtue karmas. But even you are walking, even you are eating, any moment we can collecting virtue karmas. There was one story actually, I think in the words of my prophet teacher, they mentioned there was one small sasa. Sasa is little stupa. Little stupa is on the road, lower place. And then one person came, oh, this is very precious. We cannot put in the lower place. And then he put little higher place with very genuinely. And he just do second oblate and went. And then next day, there was very rain. And then one person came. And he saw that sasa on the raining. And he felt, oh, it will be damaged. It will be damaged because of the very strong rain. So he tried to look around. And there was nothing really, he found solution. Then he found one odd hue, odd hue. And he put that odd hue on the sasa, for the protection of this raining. And actually that is not very correct, I mean, like the hues we never put on the sasa in Buddhist people. But he was no choice, otherwise sasa will be damaged. He just only concerned of the protection of the sasa with genuine mind. And then next day, weather is sun shining, wonderful, but one person came there and he saw the hues on the sasa. He was really very shocked, And how can do, the hues on the sasa? So he was just take out, Like these three persons, this one sasa, moving different or keeping different ways, the three person has kind of attained the high realms. They collect seed for the being born in the higher realms. So the three person has very genuine mind. Even though one person puts sasa a little bit up, another person puts hues on the sasa, and next person he take out. The three of them is very heart, kind of genuine heart on the sasa. Respect, respect. So therefore, the karma we can collect in many ways, many, many ways. So the cause and karma is really, really important. So we always, we don't need to complain, even you done so many things. Or we don't have to, like, how you could say, get some kind of praise someone says that, oh, you have done, or so on and so forth. But if you have genuine heart, and you serve yourself, and then never, ever the result of karma go bad. Both, bad karma is always there. You cannot hide. Bad karma, even no one see whatever we done bad karmas. We think that we are very clever. We think that we are good person. But actually, the bad karma result is always, it will happen on you, on us. So therefore, practitioners, really, we have to kind of measure the karma. Oh, we are doing good or bad karma. That is like our kind of path, actually, one of our essential path. So therefore, the karma, the virtue is very important. And today we are all here. Someone tried to telling dharmas, someone tried to listening dharmas, someone tried to reflection on these dharmas. So it's supposed to be the virtue, but still you have to check your intention.
what kind of really are we have intention? Are really we are thinking today are collection the good karma or just collection the informations? You know, we have to think what kind of. So therefore, the attitude, you know, intention, as I mentioned, the action is one thing, the intention is another thing. These three guys, they have different actions on one sasa, but they all are the pure intention. So please generate your pure intention, and then with that, the collection of your Dhamma action is today listening. Listening is very important. You know, listening, they says the sun to remove of the darkness of ignorance. Tupa marigmasi, that means, in that the teaching says. So therefore, listening is very important. And what you are listening to the teaching is the great chariot, a commentary on relaxing in the nature of mind, the great perfection. So great perfection means accomplishing, you know, great accomplishing. Accomplishing of the all yanas, all qualities. You know, the great perfection practitioners, if we losing the essential teaching of Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, then there's not any more great perfection. So therefore, it's very important to go step by steps. So today we are the 8th chapter, which the discussion about bodhicitta. So in this chapter has main 3 subject or heading, I think they call heading. So we are on the 2nd, you know, we are on the 2nd. In the 2nd, they have 10 different subheadings. So today, I think we are on the 3rd. Looks like we are on the 3rd. And first subheading is talking about benefit of the benefit of the bodhicitta. Second is essence of the bodhicitta. Now 3rd, you know, the 2 chapters, they're talking about how benefits, and then what really, what is bodhicitta? You know, the 2, you know, first subheading talking about how benefits. Second, the subheading they're talking about how, what is bodhicitta, you know, what is bodhicitta. Now, that kind of bodhicitta, how we really receiving, how we obtain, how we take in our mind. So now they are talking about how we can take that into our mind. So here they're talking about 3rd, the liturgy of receiving. So when you are receiving bodhicitta, both aspiration and application bodhicitta, we have to have some kind of rituals, or liturgy is more like ritual sadhana, I think. So in these ritual sadhanas, of course, then the preparation or preliminaries, and then actuals, and then conclusions. There's 3. So actually, any kind of ritual sadhanas, they always have preliminaries and actuals, conclusions. So, and here they about when you are receiving bodhicitta vows, and then same things. So one thing that you have to know, when you are receiving bodhicitta vows, there is 2 ways. One, you don't have some kind of master, but we need to create it by our mind create it. or mainly we can say like receiving by the visualization. Create or inviting Buddhas, Bodhisattvas front of you and preparing such great offerings, and then yourself, taking vow from the front of the old Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. And then another is that we have to receiving from the masters. There's two kind of way to receiving the bodhicitta mind of the aspiration and application, and they both are actually relative bodhicitta, because we receiving many different circumstances, such like inviting Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, offerings, and take promising, and so on and so forth. So therefore, now here the preliminary, actual, and actual and conclusion, and then preliminary has also two things, and here's two things, and one is collection of the accordant conditions, and then another is the seven branch aspirations, and then the collection of the accordant condition has also six different lists. So now first one is there. Here says the list is the object from whom to is receiving. Long we yell the object where you are receiving. So therefore, since arousing bodhicitta is within our power, in the space front visualize symbol of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and do as is explained in the sutta describing the virtue of the field of Manjushri, Jambal, Hinki, Yanten Kopindo. I think this is a little bit also, the fonts are a little wrong here, looks like. And perform the literature below, and moreover, the lamp of the path of enlightenment, Buddha Bodhipatha Paradipas. I think here they're talking about a little bit, for example, the Manjushri. In nowadays we have two kind of lineage of the bodhicitta vows. You have to understand. And one we call lineage from the Nagarjuna, and one we call lineage from the Asanga. So Asanga, he receiving the Bodhisattva vows from the Buddha Matiya, Buddha Matiya. And then Nagarjuna, he receiving Bodhisattva vows from the Manjushri. So Manjushri, when he receiving bodhicitta, and he just like the object of the receiving is not such human beings, but he invite all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas front of him by his power of the meditation. And then he create offerings, and from that way he receive it bodhicitta vows. So it's more like actually kind of more easy. You have to take receiving, you can take receiving Bodhisattva vows, any holy supports, you don't have to be also some kind of master, if you could. So therefore, now here they're talking about the Ronto Nipa Yonas, and then this is also one of the important here. They says, within our power, if you have power to visualize the assembly of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas front of you, then we don't have to find someone. And even did you lose your finger? So if you have power, if we can, how you say that, visualize like that way, and that is also okay. Then other things, whenever we go to the blissful of the temples, statues, stupas, holy places, really it's very important to try to generate bodhicitta front of them. Because those are also very important, like many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas blessed, those holy places are directly linked with the Buddhas. For example, Bodh Gayas, Varanasi stupas, and etc. So Buddha was there, and Buddha was enlightened there. Not only Buddhas, but many of the Bodhisattvas. And I think almost every Arhats, Bodhisattvas, they also kind of linked with this place. So it's very important. So pilgrimage, sometimes we talk about pilgrimage. If you really believe of the blessings, believe of the holy substance, so those are the great, most holy object, holy land. So therefore, when we reach there, not just like tourists, but if you link your heart with those, it helps to seed of our mind become open. So what we need is, we need our seed, seed of the Buddha nature, need to open, crack, and we are waiting for the fresh, leaves of the kindness and fruit of the wisdom and etc. So therefore, later circumstances can happen a lot. So someone has the power to visualize their front of them, like Bodhisattvas, and of course, very, very important, very enough, more than enough. You don't need anyone else. And then if you have enough devotion, even you have enough devotion, like when they see stupas, us are really Buddha, and that is also work. So having image of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas are very important for the generate our devotion and confidence. So if we really have devotion enough, as stupas or statues as are holy or Buddhas or masters, that is master, that is Buddha. So you can receiving vows, particularly the Bodhisattva vow, accordance of the Nagarjuna, you can take receiving from them. There is not necessarily someone. Then if we don't have that kind of, then we need to find who really knows how to receiving, and who has the Bodhisattva vows, who is the skillful mean to hear, then we have to find that kind of masters. So anyway, here now they're talking about the one quotations, and this quotation is actually like essential teaching of he mentioned here what they call sutta, describing the virtue of the field of Manjushri. This like same kind of essential of from that sutta. So therefore, I will reading in English and then try to explain. If we do not find gurus, but receiving the vow from another, the right is said to be valid. What is valid? Okay, so in former life Manjushri, by become Avaranja, arose the bodhicitta. Now this is how Manjushri himself become awakened his mind when his name was Avaranja. You know, nowadays we call Manjushri is you can imagine only he is Bodhisattva, but he used to be human beings. He used to be, even I think he has traveling all of kind of 6 realms like us. But when he was human, his name was Avaranja, and then in that time then he first generated bodhicitta mind. Arose the bodhicitta. So and here says, the Buddha field of Manjushri, the explained in Ornament Sutta. Ornament Sutta is also clarified here. So this is like now in the coming, what they says are, like it's essential teaching of the ornament of the sutta, okay? Ornament Sutta is also clarified here. The 5 eyes of the protections. 5 eyes of the protections. Okay. This is a little wrong translator, okay? This is not 5. It just front of the protectors is enough. The front of the protectors. The means he visualized the all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of the him. And of course, it is not that easy, to invite the visualize, ourselves, invite all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in front of us. It's not easy, but that is not also impossible. Not impossible. So if we cannot, as I mentioned, then holy objects are also enough. Holy objects are also enough. Anyway, the front of the protectors, and then bring perfect bodhicitta. I don't know, bring means, but more like generate perfect bodhicitta. Generate perfect bodhicitta is more correct than bring. Or maybe the bring you can continuously, I think maybe pervading the lump of all beings, or bring perfect bodhicitta is what mean?
Bring about, make birth.
Oh, okay. Generate perfect bodhicitta means that, like he really wow that, the next sentence, pervading a lump, I don't know, what is lump of the all beings? What is lump? Yes. Okay, I think there's no light in Tibet. Okay, he says that all sentient beings become his guest. His guest. Because the bodhicitta says, I serve all sentient beings. It means that all sentient beings are your guest. If we serve food, drink, and that we say, this is my guest, right? We are serving today food and something. Now here, he focusing all sentient beings, and he promising, I will helping them, So that means that providing for all beings, or he's kind of generate, he invited, providing means like unexceptional sentient beings. He kind of become his guest, and how he will be helping is that to free from samsara. So front of the Buddha, he promising from today to onward until all sentient beings become enlightenment, I will be helping them, or I will make free them from samsara. That was how he promising, when the Manjushri was in the Avaranja. So as I think, as I already mentioned sometimes, but the Bodhisattva has three kind of. One we say kind of like shepherd and boardman and king, like king. The three kind of the Bodhisattvas. So such Manjushri, we say that if they want, or whenever they want to become enlightenment, is this moment, they can enlightened. But when he was the beginning, he generated bodhicitta, his formation is until all sentient beings become not enlightened, he won't go to enlightenment. So that was his first, formation, his vows. So therefore, like Manjushri is always we think is Bodhisattva, right? Because of the beginning, his formation was that until every sentient beings become enlightened, he won't go to enlightenment. So that was his, we say, like very high faculty or high quality of the bodhicitta mind. So providing a lump of all beings to free from the samsaras. And that was his promising. And before he become, or how he can helping sentient beings. I think that is more like how we can helping sentient beings. And then here they're talking about, do not produce angry antidotes to the sentient beings. No send to send todonis again of avarice and jealous. What is avarice? Great or stinginess and jealous to the sentient beings, not to do the same, do not. And then is on the shonjen cho toji pa the majawas, and that angry, avarice, jealous, and these things from now, he was in the front of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. And from now to until, supreme enlightenment, he will not do these things. Pure conduct should be performed. I think that is one thing, like this. From now to supreme enlightenment is like one kind of topic. So he promised how he helping. He will not angry to sentient beings. He will not avaricious to sentient beings. He will not jealous to sentient beings. So that is great help. I think this is we call helping sentient beings. So why opposite of the helping is what we call harm, right? As long as we have angry, as long as we have average, as long as jealous, then it's harm. People make uncomfortable, isn't it? But then sometimes also people need uncomfortable, and that time you have to do. That way also possible to wake up, the ignorance. So anyway, now next sentence, and also he said, pure conduct should be performed. So pure conduct. Pure conduct is also same as not harm sentient beings. It's pure conduct, pure conduct. And then next, evil deed and desire abandonings. So we do have desire. And because of that desire, we do a lot of unvirtuous actions in order to happening of that desire, such like stealing, sexual, killing, lying. All these are just why we do. We try to accomplish it of our desire. So therefore here, desire is intention, and then evil deed is result of that. So they will not do these things. I think he tried abandoned it. And then rejoicing in vows and displans. Sonji Jesus Lapachas. I think rejoicing of the what Buddha did, rejoicing of the what the Bodhisattvas did. So rejoicing in vows and discipline means like, and here in Tibet word is more like, they said, Sonji Jesus Lapachas. They says after Buddha, the discipline after Buddhas means like more following the Buddha's disciplines and vows of the Bodhisattvas, rejoicing. If you have rejoicing of the Buddha's qualities, Bodhisattvas vows, it means you are already very close to that. If you are very rejoicing of someone doing something, it means you have some link, that action and your heart. So similarity. So rejoicing is not only antidote of this jealous, but same time you are very much linked into the actual action of that. And we will train in Buddhahood. Or sorry, that was a little bit, I think, Suram Damba Lagavis. Okay. Then next was we will train in the Buddhahood or after Buddhas. And then here, we ourselves, or I ourselves, normally they call I ourselves, will not quickly proceed into Buddhahood.
There's one sentence missing. There's a new one after this.
What is missing?
We ourselves will not quickly proceed into Buddhahood, while even one sentient being remains outside in extremes. May the measureless, inconceivable Buddha fields be defended.
Right. All good. So that was we are talking. The Bodhisattvas, if they really wish to become enlightenment, so after seeing path, even 7 days, you can enlighten. You can enlighten. But they are not looking for enlightenment. They are looking for helping sentient beings. As much as best solutions. So Bodhisattvas are, so their wish is to remain in the samsara and to helping sentient beings. That is their wishes. And in the Shavakayanas, particular Buddhayanas are they more like free from the samsara, as much as cook. So these are also different. Okay. And then sentient here again this for what they says one person for
Even while one person
for remaining like many eons or something like that in Tibet. So I didn't know there was new. This book was called good. Then that this Hingyong, this is quite important. May the measureless, inconceivable Buddha field be abandoned. So I think this Hingyong means that this field abandoned, or field be purifying. So Bodhisattvas, they make purifying of the Buddha fields. It means that you Bodhisattvas on the path, the collection, lot of accumulation merit through the generosity, tolerant, and so on and so forth. So pure means that once you are awakened, then wherever your Buddha feels, of course you see pure, but even the retinues also can be see pure realms. So something like this, this Hingyong is quite important. I think the Buddha field be abandoned or be purifying, purifying. For that reason, they are remaining in the samsara, on level of the Bodhisattva. Hinda number yomar then mean is yomar hiba ni hyojita number ni. Mean is yomar hiba hyojita number ni. Okay. Grasp from labeling names within the 10 directions. What does that mean? Do you know what it means that? Sorry? Grasping from labeling names. Yeah, if you have answering, please. It's fine. If you have answers, then tell.
What I understand by grasp by labeling name within the 10 direction, it's because we are full of conceptual conception. Is that?
What is link here? This subject then. You're full of conception is what is link here.
Let me purify it all.
Sorry?
The link is that grasp my karma bunya, let me purify my conception or negative emotion or whatever. But labeling names its conception. No?
Meaning, I think that the name of the Bodhisattva, on the name of the Bodhisattva, or holding the name of the Bodhisattva, even though that you can be enlightenment instantly, but still they hold the name of a Bodhisattva and helping sentient beings of the 10 durations. And then my karma of the body and speech, let purify it all. And let mental karma be purified. And and unvirtued actions not done or purifying of the unvirtue actions. So he formation like that. From today to until all sentient beings become enlightened, he will not go to the enlightenment. And what he do is that he do these things. He holding his name as Bodhisattva or like here not Buddha, and remaining all the durations, do pure actions, body, speech, mind, as well as the virtue actions, and as well as purifying of the Buddha field, and so on and so forth. Okay? And then that way they arose the bodhicitta mind. So we can repeat this. We can try to think of this. We really follow this kind of thinking. We try to increasing of this kind of thinking. And that is something that makes also our mind change, mind change. Bodhicitta should be arise in this way. If we do not have the power to do this ourselves, of course, the different sentient beings have different kind of capacities. So every sentient beings, they could not do such like this way, taking Bodhisattva vow by himself or herself. So therefore, if we do not have the power to do this ourselves, then, or we want to receiving it from our gurus, as for this precious attitude, then what we need to do is we have to follow this. And this is, this may also rise from the spiritual friends as a rain of all desireful from which we feel tears. So I think Mahayana friend, Mahayana spiritual friend, of course, for us very important, Like kids, the parents is very important. Or the kids, how become their behavior, their knowledge is very much dependent on the parents. How we raise. So because parents always telling things to this and that, this is good, this is bad. We know many things. What is really good, what is bad is from the parents. So similarity, the Mahayana spiritual friends, they are telling us what is good, what is bad. When you hear these things many times, so already your mind little bit kind of thinking of the, bodhicitta is important. That is something, we are thinking little bit. Firstly, we're thinking, maybe then after some time we have little interesting, and then maybe sometimes maybe we really want to have this, and maybe after that we really want to practice on this. So therefore, the spiritual friend is great support, for our beginners. So therefore, here says that rise from the spiritual friends. So from the rich jewel falls the rain of all that needed or wished for. So true spiritual friends support the arise of all good dharma and the birth of the bodhicitta. So firstly, we need to hear about benefit, quality of the bodhicitta, and that, without spiritual friend is difficult. So once you hear, once you try, then slowly our mind become more and more open. And then one day, then we can take vows from that master. And then we practice continuously, like end of your life. But your inner kind of mind that I will practice this until enlightenment, that is like inner vow. So that power of vows, so your next life also really be born in the Mahayana, where the Mahayana teachings, be born also able to practice of the Mahayana teachings, and be next life also have kind of genuine heart in your heart. So therefore, they're processing, and that way they are going, But the first kind of the vow must make or take from our mental, from mind, that is very important. Anyway, how by possessing bodhicitta and being competent in training in it, they are able to accept students. Here guys, chitta vishena shonchi jisem ngashin, te la balan kibi jis zun pates. So the spiritual master who is not bodhisattva, then of course he cannot show anything. But I think they're talking about who possessing bodhicitta and being competent. What is competent? Or skilled, competent in the training in it, they're able to accept students, or whoever able to accept student, and then we have to follow those kind of masters. So here is one quotation called the 12, the quotation name is, I think, what they call 20 vows, Lama Nyeshupa. Lama Damla Nijingi Nudondani Lama Shashi Tons, gurus abiding in the vow and capable, since they have the power and therefore they should accept them, or you have to take vow from them. Actually, this is correct. Should accept them is not so correct. More like you should receiving, they should receiving from them is more, I think, correct English. And then again here, the Bodhicharya Avatara says, competent in the meaning of the great vehicle, excellent in the discipline of the bodhicitta, never is spiritual friend to be let go, even for the purpose of preserving one's life. So I think the master who really knows Mahayana teachings, who have discipline of the bodhisattvas, and these two qualities, who have these two qualities, is really worthy to follow. So therefore, here says, even the purpose of the surviving one's life, or course of your life, if you say, if you follow this master, I will kill you, and still you could say, you could kill. Sometimes kids, parents says, oh, you should not eat this because it will be die, and the kid says, okay, I'm die. They want to have this chocolate or something, they perform to be die. Right? Sometimes kids says like that. So similarity. So even they says you are killed, then you could say killed. That means that even for the purpose of the preserving one's life, hetons. Then another, again, the lamden, they call bodhicitta, lamb of the bodhicitta. Lama zong le dangbalong, we should receive the vow from an excellent gurus and competent in the letter of the vows. So the Lama should have also vows. Lama should know well how to giving vows. Lama should be also remaining with that disciplines. And then Lama should have also compassionate and tolerance to give the vows. And then who have those qualities, then we call those are the great gurus. You should realize those are great gurus, okay? So I think that was what Jesus. Anyway, that is like that two ways we can receiving vows. One is by ourselves, and then one is from the gurus. I think nowadays, some Westerners, in Finland also we have one West Finnish guy, he says he is also Bodhisattva, right? What is his name? King Katami, all right. Sorry? Eight level bodhisattva. The bodhisattva has eight level bodhisattva has great qualities. You know, you can manifest like 80,000 bodies in this much. That was sign of the you are 8 bhumis of the levels. So people talking like this, you should not believe. Okay, you have to check very carefully quality of these guys. So sometimes people read like this kind of text and they think, oh, it's happening from the sky, everything, you know. But this is not easy. This is very few. Manjushri is only one. There's not many Manjushris, right? So you have to understand. Then that is one. Then second, they're talking about creating pure vessel. Creating pure vessel. What does this mean now? Oh, I think it's more like creating pure vessel is that we have to check our motivation, So that this now the support of the receiving vow or vessel is your own mind, okay? Because you are receiving this. So I read in English the root text. By a guru free from fault, complete in all the virtue, who for the fortunate student is producer of joy, who sees the fault of samsara and freedom and benefit, the excellent dharma of ultimate and provisional vehicle, along with the limitless praise of bodhicitta are told. So I read in Tibetan again the root text. Shenda yende zobo lamai kazon hloma toba shepana koronyimi tabe penso tomar patong tagye chunamdo shonje sending habantai. So the great master who now the student come to see to the great master and requesting the bodhicitta vows. And then Lama also has to tell that what kind of you need motivations, you know. And firstly, of course, they says like producing of the joy means that someone who ever really think of the take vows, if they really think seriously, you know, in the Dzogchen teaching, they says that when they analyzing of the student coming to see lamas and asking the, you know, receiving Dzogchen teachings, and then lama says, okay, I will give you, but never give normally. You know, like 5 times, more than 5 times, this student coming again and again asking, then that sign is that that person has really some kind of really interesting to the teaching and teachers. So many people, when they see lamas, they're asking, and they think that should be enough, but that's not enough, you know. Like the 5 times at least you have to asking, but it takes even more than 5 years, you know. And the lama never says no, and yes, but then if they're really students, they always go there, even far away, no matter they're asking. And that is something really sign. So similarity, if someone really interesting about the bodhicitta vows, then we need to also produce joy, how you are fortunate. This is something rare and great and etc. And again, we taught the bodhicitta mind, we cannot be free from the samsara. So therefore, the samsara has great fault or suffering and etc. And if you are enlightenment, then there's great benefits and so on and so forth. And the dharma is the beginning. When you hear is virtue, middle when you analyzing is also virtue, and the end your meditation also virtue. So, and the Dharma of the bodhicitta has so many different qualities, so many qualities. So master has to tell these things, and that way the student raise their joy. You know, they also should think how I am lucky to able to receiving vows, able to practice in these vows, or displaying on this, and helping to sentient beings, and so on and so forth. So that is the reason also the beginning of this bodhicitta, they're talking about qualities of the bodhicitta. So that also raises the joy of the practitioners. So therefore he says, previously told, you know, the previous list or the subheading, they told, telling about the fault of samsara, or not them surges. Also this beginning of this book, previously told, telling about the fault of samsara and virtue of the liberations, as well as praising of the bodhicitta. And then the Guru transformed the mind. What means? The Guru transforms mind is what? What is this meaning in English?
Transforms means changes.
Sorry?
Transforms means changes.
Changes for what change?
Changes the mind of the student. The Guru changes the mind of the student.
Okay. Guru transforms the mind. Is English correct? Okay. So that is how they say create pure vessel. So we need strong kind of really deep understanding or great motivations. You know, not just like today you have something and then tomorrow disappeared. Not that kind of. But we need some kind of seed. I think I told also yesterday to the Sebe about few things. Maybe that is quite important. In Tibetan says that Teduju Kunlong and Juduju Kunlong. There are two kinds of motivation, which is really, I found that is really important. You know, when I learned these things, I didn't think much that important, but now if you are practicing or long-term Ram, so the motivation of the seed and motivation of the at the moment, there's two kinds of motivation. So generally, the motivation seed means like general all of us are maybe devotion to the lamas, interest to the dharmas, joy of the practice, you know, like we have some kind of deep down their seed, you know, that kind of motivation of the seed. But then momentary of this motivation, when we have circumstances, you know, some strange people behavior, we have angry, you know, like that moment, in that moment it looks like we are very much samsaric. But in the deep down there is, we respect people, you know, and we really interested of the Dharma. So the seed of the motivation is all of our practitioners are quite well actually. But the momentary of the this motivation, you know, circumstances, little circumstances, we do a lot of things like desire, anger, and jealousy, and so, and we follow all of those kind of motivation that moment. So therefore, like here they're talking about transforms. So when you hear the transforms of the mind, after Guru says these things, then your mind totally transformed like almost Buddha. It's never happened. But maybe transformed the seed of the motivation, which you have some seed there. So that is, we have to respect this. This is very important. So we are really practicing based on that, you know. We're collecting a little bit every day, every week, every month. But then same time, you know, when you are in the bar with your friends, of course, You don't see any of the fault of the samsara. You don't see maybe even the virtue of the Dhamma. Instead of only alcohol or beer or whatever in front of you, you are always there. But that is that moment attitude. You know, that moment of the attitude, we call momentary of attitude. So that is not your like seed of the attitude. So we have to know these two things. Maybe that also gives some strength for you, I think. So vessel, pure vessel, okay? Then next is pen tamhin, chopat shambanas. Arrange object of the worship and offerings. This is very important one also. When you do great things, we really have to create as much as possible to do good things, you know. Like here they're talking about offerings and then objects. Like when you are receiving, either you are receiving from the masters, you know, if master has some kind of holy or temple or holy Dhamma rooms, then they should have all kind of objects are there. But if they do not have, still we can bring, you know, the monasteries, when you are, when you have great kind of drupchins, then we have a lot of nice tunkas we are hanging. And I think the originally how they happen is more really dhammic way, like this kind of now object and object of the worship and offerings. But nowadays maybe more like decoration, you know, more like, you know, make wonderful. So like this dhammic can become also samsaric. It can be possible. But however, it's very important to, you know, like bring all this supporters of the representative of the Buddha Dhamma Sanghas and Tunkas and so on and so forth. And then front of them we should also do offerings, such flowers, waters, precious jewels, whatever. You know, those are the also, if you have really very, very kind of joy or think this is the most important of your life, I think you should bring everything and shows that, you know, offer and etc. So that very much dependent on the also how we are appreciate of the bodhicitta mind and so on and so forth. However, now here how you do is that here they're talking about more in this. The root text says, in a clean and pleasant place that is beautified by offerings, first set out statues of Buddha and other things. So having Buddha statues, as always I'm saying, is very important, you know, very, very important for us to support, you know. If you can visualize everything in front of your sky, you don't need house, you don't need statues, you don't need stupas, you can communication with directly with us. That is another case. But for us, we cannot create. We need some support. So therefore, the statues are very important. And good one, best one, and blissful one. Okay, and then here they're talking about now the clean and present. They're talking about here next one is Songhong Jembatons. Adorn the shiny room and then scatter flower petals. So I think the flower is very pure actually, right? It's flower arising from the mother place, whatever, but it's very pure. And it arises from the earth. And these are the one of the really kind of offering substances. Flower petals, set out statue representing the three jewels, along with the offering of incense, lamps, and so on. You know, the perfumes and the foods. You know, we talk about 5 of this enjoyment of the offerings. You know, flower, incense, lamp, perfume, food, and etc. And gathered implement placing to gods and human beings. So as you know, like wonderful of the God and human things you can offer. So I think it's offering, you know, the offering mind is, you know, like I think it is this two different. You know, when you are gift to something, to your friend or something, then you cannot say that, okay, now bring back, right? We already gift, and he already think this is mine, and we kind of really gift. But then offering, we always take back. But I really think, you know, many of things, sometimes we just, you know, like many things offering put here, and then later on we keep again into our box and like that. So the moment of you are offering, if you're really offering, that is more than enough somehow, because the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, they are not holding this, you know, or they do not say this is now mine and I don't give back. They are no like, they don't have any kind of clinging on that. But we just training our mind, you know. When we are offering at that moment, that second moment, if you're really genuine offering, that has also great merit. So therefore, the offering must be from the open heart. Then we have to put all kind of offerings in the shrine. And then next, now they're talking about host of the Buddhas and their emanations. And here I think their emanations, and here says that like, you know, like more refugee tree, I think. We should have some supporters there. And that is like one of example. And then from that we can also kind of imagine or emanation the many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. You know, we do have 1 or 2 statues already there, but then we visualize more of like this kind of things. So that means the hosting of Buddhas and their emanations. But this translation is not their emanations, but more like emanation of the whole object of the refugees. But you can see when you read more. Then are symbolized all by the representations in front. And visualize space as being filled with an ocean of Buddhas together with their children like heap up bank of clouds. So we need to visualize that way. So therefore the subject is Buddhas and their emanation is no, I think. The Tibetan word tul. Tul means emanation, but here more talking about emanation or imagine of the many Buddhas, you know, from the manifest of your support. You can think many Buddhas front of them. And then there's one missing here. Then we're using different melodies, sounds, instruments, as well as incense. You know, we invite like that way. So you're searching, and then person yourself, you should show respect from body, like do plums or plums join of the plum or what? palms, join palms, and show respect, and say some wonderful invocation mantras, and devotionally, like devotionally also inviting from the mind. So here says the one of the sutta teaching called Moon Lamp Sutta. This quotation comes from the Moon Lamp Sutta. Moon, lamp of the moon, I think, something like that. Dawa Demi Ndoli Songwa Tatas. The quotation from comes Dawa Deme. We fully arouse the vast and excellent bodhicitta, Rahito, front of the all the supporters. Why? Because may all these beings without remainder be enlightened. May there be no sentient being who are not vessel. What is vessel here?
Container.
What container? Sorry?
Keeper of the vow.
I think they are container of the keep of vow. How? Keeper of bodhicitta. May there be no sentient beings who are not vessel, means all sentient beings have bodhicitta or what?
That is the wish.
Yes,
That they will be, that all beings will have.
In this new translation, same? But I think here they says, Ndoanda the Malu Sonji Jo, Ndun no sentient comes. He says this all sentient beings has the course of the Buddha. We thought Buddhas, there's no one which is no sentient comes. I think this is a little bit difficult, but they may all this being without the remainder of the enlightened. What is mean that? Without the remainder means?
There is not any being who is not enlightened. That is their wish.
No, the cause of the enlightened. In Tibet, what may all these beings, I don't know why they put may, but all these beings without, the cause of enlightenment. There's no one without cause of enlightenment. Seed, seed, cause or seed or potential. Do not know my sentient comments. Robando the Malu, Sonji Jin, do not know my sentient comments. So there's no one single sentient beings without like seed of the Buddhahood. So therefore, we are generate bodhicitta for sentient beings, okay? Why I'm a generate bodhicitta mind to means that helping sentient beings or enlightenment for sentient beings. Why you are doing this? And they says there's no any single sentient beings who have no seed of the Buddhas. So that's why I'm take vow to helping sentient beings. That's why the sentient beings we can help. That's why the sentient beings can be enlightenment. Yeji toji ngawala tulimanda tuji ongana sentient la gombe konjosa yeji dregin shabu nindra javan koji malishes. So approaching divine ones who are possessing of the 10 powers, mainly talking about Buddhas, okay? And by the power of your kindness that is never past its time, means that Buddhas, when really needed sentient beings, and they appear, their time never kind of, I don't know, the means time never passed or never passed its times means what? What is in English?
Never over.
Never over means that you are right time. You are always right time.
So the time is never over. It never ends.
What does that mean then?
The past time is like a ticket which is old, and it's not like that. It's not that it is not used anymore.
Okay, I think the Buddhas, when really someone needed, they always should appear. So now someone doing great job here, like someone really raised bodhicitta mind. So means that Buddha should be now here. That is they are asking. You are never go late or past or whatever. Must be now present when someone such doing like this kind of things. They are saying like this. Tulimanda tuji, because your power of the compassion. Power of the compassion. Your time will not late or not past or something. Must be right. So that is mean. And may you, who are the three jewels, care for the welfare of the beings. So the Buddha Dhamma Sanghas, they always thinking of the sentient beings. And then I am now also same things, carry sentient beings, taking vow for sentient beings. And this is very important for you, and same time also very important for sentient beings. So therefore, now Buddhas, Dharmas, Sangha should be here, with mental, okay, and mental offerings and these that are the set out here supplicate the victory ones and their retinues. So now place, you already place make pure the offerings and everything is there. So now inviting the Buddhas in here, in this place, for the sake of the sentient beings, for the sake of them who are now receiving bodhicittas. So that is invocation. And you have to say 3 times. But they didn't put the 3 times. If they're in the new translation, it says 3 times. Lesum Jopis. And when you say 3 times, by that, then from Buddha field of the 10 directions, the 3 jewel approach, visualize that well, fill the whole of space. And then some people think how it's possible, how it's possible to Buddha appear like that way. Of course we do think that. This is our question, right? So maybe I think we should little time break. Oh, now cameraman came.
Talked about this, may all these beings, and may there be no sentient beings.
No wish. It is like this. It is like that. There's no wish like this.
One Bama
Okay. So now they're talking about establishing in the suitabilities of this. What does that mean? I think there was one exactly same thing somewhere up there, but there wasn't have same translator. So I'm wondering why. Okay, finding out suitable. I think more like the reasons why happening like that, you know. So anyway, because now they're talking about inviting all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas by the power of your mental qualities. So now here talking about Tepan Gopas. So some people think how it is possible to invoke or inviting the Buddhas and Buddhist Sattvas, like countless of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And then here more talking about is there is possibilities like that. So as to how suitability is established for what is visualized really approaching. So in the root text, it is taught that this really happens just as we visualize, occurring by the immaculate power of our minds, immaculate, and also by the conversion of wise and considerate masters. In Tibetan, don't know wrong semto tmeton. Chance onki nam je tuje cheda sambate than the persons. So the two reasons, the Tibet word tepangopa, I don't know the suitability, but tepa means two reasons. Two reasons it is possible. And first one is the power of your mind, the pure mind, pure intention. Has great power, pure devotion. Pure devotion, pure intention has power. And second is the great Buddhas has great compassionate. They are just looking for sentient beings. But having link with them is we need some kind of between some kind of things. That is the devotion and pure intention. So as long as we have that, and then the great Buddha's compassionate is always there. So therefore, when you have these two things, then actually whatever your wish, it will be accomplishing, he says. But they talk about consideration master, that I don't know what is this. Compassion of the wise and consideration master. What is master? And then the Longchenpa, he put one quotation from the Buddha's word, which is, we use often this. Whatever victory ones we visualize, they will come before us and remain. Because they always based on us their blessing, the complete liberator from force. So when you're hearing of the blessings, what is really meaning of the blessings? If someone practicing a little bit Dharma, the beginning for us very difficult to practice, very difficult to sitting, very difficult to prostration. So when I first came here, all of us almost are new, so all of you, and we just recite the 8 auspicious, and we think that even very long, and we start from them, then 7 AM prayers and etc. And then slowly we do the sogs, full moons, and Buddha Shakyamuni, the Tuesday we do Buddha Shakyamuni prayer, only 1 page or something. The beginners maybe even think these are the very difficult and long. And then later on, we started like Drupchots, morning to evenings, and we had some also retreats doing Hindu practice, morning to evenings. And people become fine, no problem. And those are the actually blessing. Blessed because of that your mind become more open, more able to do practice. So this is we call actually blessing. Blessing doesn't come something like physical things, but your mental, even if you have more interesting, devotion, diligent, wisdom, more and more open, and those are the called blessing. Blessed with your mind, those are the really blessed. So therefore, then slowly, the Nipakali Nambatawadis, the completely liberate from the fault. Completely liberate means you have to start little by little. No one has just this moment completely everything, but we have to complete it by little, every day, every week, every month, every year, little by little. Then eventually, one day, we will enlightenment. And those are the blessed from the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, emanation of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and etc. So we have to know these things. So therefore, they're talking about how possible is that. Possibility is that if we do have devotion and proper visualizing Buddhas, then there is Buddhas, there is blessings, there is free from the sufferings, and so on and so forth. So now Longchen Ranjangpa's word. That by possessing of the wisdom and known the Buddhas, we supplicate and intend to invite them, and possessing kind compassion. I think this maybe I will read in Tibetan, maybe that better. Songjul and Chembi Yeshingavis. The Buddhas has the omniscient. Omniscient means we saying that Buddha can see clearly 3 times of the all phenomena. You know, like we are looking something on your palm or your hand. So therefore, now some person here asking, calling to Buddha properly, you know, you open your mind. That is like you are really, your duration is looking into the Buddha. You know, someone, if we call to some person, like if I look there and then I call, of course they will say something. But sometimes if we call, your direction is like wrong direction. If you call something, maybe this person, okay, calling something, look like my name, but maybe he is not calling on me, right? Because his direction is wrong direction. So if we are lack of the devotion, and that is, we are already wrong direction. But when we have devotion, and that you are looking into the Buddha, that we can call, you can call, you are look into the Buddha, and then same place come. So Buddhas definitely come. You know, Sovata Jinsi, Shen Tongbar Gong. And then because Buddha has omniscient and he knew they are inviting him, that is one thing. And then Buddha has great compassionating. You know, if someone calling and asking, helping, there is no way he hides or no way to himself saying, I'm busy. Oh. You know, even ordinary person, if you calling few times correctly, he or she will appear. And then another reason is the Buddha's activity is just for the sentient beings. Just for the sentient beings. Such who have really devotion, confident on the teacher, teaching, and interested to practice. And those kind of person is his special, his subject. So therefore, they were telling us. And in order to his activity become completing, and he have great also magic, you know, great magic. So therefore, even instantly, he can manifest many different forms, many different places. So therefore, we should not think we are in Finland, it's far away from Buddha, and we have also immigration control, so it won't be happening. You don't think that. So he has miracle, and his activity is for us, and he has great compassionate, and he has omniscient, and he can see us all the time. Read your mind. There was one story, you know, one Christian, what's called Christian teacher, what we call? Priest. And then once he have teaching, he have preaching, I think he called preaching, right? To the people, and he description. So the God is very powerful, you know, the Christian God is very powerful, right? God. And he says, all this universe was, built in 7 days. Built in 7 days. He says to the people like that. And then someone asking, and then before that, what he did? Is it true? No, and then he was very angry. There's no answer. So you have not much a lot to asking, right? That it comes anywhere that he has a miracle, so therefore he can appear everywhere. So maybe even don't need 7 days to build all this universe. Here says the Buddhas, they don't have anything to do them just for the sentient beings. So therefore, definitely they will appear for sake of the us. And then here talking about one thing. Okay, I haven't read all this, but anyway. Here says, when they came such a long way merely for the food and offerings, it must be the merit of the bodhicitta that makes it suitable for the guest really to approach. So Buddhas, someone inviting for food, with pure devotion, Buddhas appear. So therefore, someone such they are doing generate bodhicitta. For them is great, different than food. So that is also reason they should appear, because someone really doing great accumulated merit and someone really thinking for the sentient beings. So why not it will be not appear? There was one story, one historical story. In the China, this Empire of the China time, that in China, and there was one practitioner, as nowadays we call laughing Buddha, Buddha of laugh or something. And he was, when he was in the path, and then he always playing with kids, the many kids, he collection many kids, and he playing all the time with them. And he was a little bit related with Chinese king. And then one day, king asked to him, why are you always playing with kids, and you're all time doing with kids? And then he told that in the India, noble land, there is Buddha, and he always has he has 16 arhats. The 16 arhats always follow the Buddhas. So I try to do same as like what he does. And then the king says, oh, then maybe you should go there, you should go there. And then he says, oh, it's very far, very far. If I go there, it's very far, I cannot. And then he says, you should invite him. And then the laughing Buddha says, yes, I would like to invite him, but I need to really place where I invite, But this laughing Buddha was like relative with kings, but he have no such nice places. So he says, I don't have really nice place for invite Buddhas. And then king says, okay, I will prepare the place. What kind of you need place? And then he says, you should prepare the best of in the palace and bring a lot of the foods and incense and etc. So Buddha will appear and he will incense. I can invite him and he will appear. And then they have been agreed. King prepared all this one hall and prepare all kind of offering things and so on and so forth. And then the laughing Buddha, he that reciting invocation mantras, and Buddha and all arhats just miraculously they came in the house, and having lunch, talk with them, and then Chinese there's kings, they offer different what is called this kind of public brocades to everyone, like one day it happened like that, and then they just miraculously also they went. So therefore at that time, in Chinese, the 16th arhats are very popular, and some of old pictures they had also this kind of cloth for the arhats. But Indian arhats, there's no cloth, Indian arhats, pictures are like very kind of just public like this, very thin. But Chinese, they wrote arhats like wear like this kind of brocades, because at that time some paintings they paint. So like here it says, even for food, it came from far away. It came from far away, from India to China, Beijing, to have just lunch, Buddhas and arhats. So if we have the devotion, confident enough, there is no question, okay? So therefore, that is like that. And then next one is, now all of these are the preparing of the house, preparing of your mental qualities, and so on and so forth. Now really inviting and offering baths and ornaments. What is ornaments? Or ornaments, I think. Adornment is what? Okay, gents over. Right. So here say what the Namkin is Shemba Samlas. Visualize that they listen eagerly and closely and approach in the space of the sky. And then root text. Then with joint hands and are filled with a double hand full of flowers, invite them to be seated, and after that offer to bath them. Also offering garment, ornaments, and rest. I think words of my perfect teachers, they mentioned even joint hand has great merit and meanings. But if we born into the animal realms, even they cannot do that. And then on the top of that, of course, we are thinking of like many things here. There's no question. Even join the hand is not possible for animal realms, animal sentient beings. So join the hand is great meaning there also. So therefore, with join the hand and filled with flower, so empty hand is not so good auspicious. So that's why I think earlier times I have a little bit telling, when we see such great masters, we should give some kind of flowers. If there's no flowers, then we always make some kind of envelopes or kadas, whatever, depends on, of course, our situation. But it's very important to have something when you see the great masters, because the empty hand is not so auspicious. So here they're talking about holding the flowers, in the hand. And then Tibetans, we do now this kadas, because in Tibet there's not really flowers. There is no such flowers, So anyway, double hand feel of the flowers, and then invite them to sit. Then after that, they're talking about offer to bath. So these are a little bit also, of course, Indian traditionals. So when Indian special guests in early time, they always wash their hand and foot. And one thing is maybe they are traveling without shoes, so it's very necessarily, take bath or wash the foot. Foot? Feet or foot? Or feet, okay, feet. And then other hands also very respect, They often, every evening, the great families, they washed their parents' feet and the water they also put their own head as like blessing or like that. So that's why we have two waters, when we make offerings, 2 water and then flower and incense and etc. The first water was for wash. No, first water was drinking and second water was for wash. So therefore, here also saying the take bath, or here in Tibetan just only wash, no bath, but I think English word bath is more take a full kind of body, or what does mean bath? Sorry? Okay. But when you say bath, is food or what? Just bath anything? Oh, that's good. Bath them, and then after then washed, and then of course then you put dye and give clothes and ornaments and whatever, And then here is like Longchen password, we can go more. Visualize that all the 3 jewels are in the sky, in the divine places, and that are their own places. And more abundant than the worlds of the third-fold thousand-world realm. Invite them to be seated on brilliant lotus, jewel, sun, and moon seats. Da namge inje konjo thamje rong ni tenye yame kongla tongso ne lapa samos. Okay. Do you remember what is now third, fourth, thousand worlds realms? So we have kind of learned these things in the first year book, and also I gave you some kind of picture how we can think of this. So if you have anything left your head, something, this image, then we have to fill the 3,000 of the world by the 3 jewels, and they are remain their own seeds. Such sit, Padma disk, sun disk, moon disk, and etc. And then here one quotation, and this quotation is very popular. In all over Tibetans, we use this for the inviting mentor. So, the supreme insight or Rikpanchok, without exception, you have a Lord of sentient beings. You who are Lord of sentient beings, divine ones, who irresistibly conquered the host of Maras, knowing all things without exception just as they are. Bangawans, with your retinue, we ask you to come to this place. So this mantra is very popular, So we have to 2 ways we can think. 2 ways we can think. One is the object of the Buddha, is the, protector of the all sentient beings, and is who are really removed of the all maras, what they call, remove of the all maras for sure. And Buddha has power, Buddha have also activities. Because that the Buddha can do these things because he knowing all things without exception. So what and when and where and any happenings, any movements. So therefore the Bhangavan and retinues we are invite in our place. That is one thing. Then other things. The real protector is our own, the nature of the mind. All sentient beings really protect is the Buddha nature. So the Buddha nature, because of the Buddha nature, you can remove your all maras, mara of the negative emotions. So negative emotions are really mara, demon, animal, not animal, enemy. Also can be animal, right? Enemies. The real mara is the our one's negative emotion. In order to remove this, we have to invoke our Buddha nature's quality. Because the nature of the Buddha is omniscient, all-knowing, full of compassion. Once you can invoke that, and then that is the we really need. That is our final goal. So therefore, other way you can think that way also. So depends on the what kind of you are practicing, what kind of level of you are practitioner. Jamden kojin in the case so Bhangavan is Tibet word cham, then cham means destroyed, then means endowment. So Buddha has quality. The abundant all four demons and has also 6 kind of the qualities. So that makes Bhangavan and Chamden. So the retinues of all of them are invited, okay? And then next one is they're talking about more like talking about now this bath. Still they're talking about bath, okay? Bath has 2 meanings. As I mentioned that Indian traditional, they do the bath of the feet. But here now more bath of the really bath I think looks like. He jobse shembelam the tukon hai pono pomo mumbu yembar rumboche pumbi kutusowa podmebe kutusowa jila traditions. Okay. Then here says, when this is said, and the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas approach, in the bathhouse, many divines, youths, and maidens wash their bodies with precious jewel ornament, vases, and immeasurable bath offerings. So I think we are just only doing purifying. Practice means for purifying. So purifying is very important. So the purifying of the body is very important. Purifying of the speech is very important. Purifying of the mind is even more very important. So the talking about here bath is also one way of the, or one example of the how we are purifying. Everything actually can purify it, no matter how ugly, how bad, how ugly. And then this about that how to bath in very fragrant or whatever fragrant excellent bathing house and with billions flora that shine like spotless crystal, and whose present pillars blend them with precious jewels, adored by canopus that shines with pearls. Remember, and other Tathangatas and the Buddha's sons, with many precious words of perfuming water and on abundance of good and pleasant songs, along with music, we asked to wash their bodies. Do you like this kind of bath? Right? We like. So therefore, we offer. And this is, we think, our best we have. May Buddhas like or not, different. But if someone think this is best one, right? Great one. So we create like this and then offer. And then here, and then we dry their bodies with the best of the clothes and clean and perfume with the scents. And then to them with color that are well dyed, and we offer jean garment that have a much less fragrances. With excellent garment, fine and soft to touch, soft touch, and many hundreds of excellent ornaments, we may adorn to noble ones, Samantha Badar, Manjushri, and Avalokutu Hiwaras, with the very best of fragrance, spreading throughout the third-fold 1,000-world realm. We anoint the body of the Lord of Sages, that blessed with the light like refined and polished gold. So anyway, invite and take baths and offerings, go washed, and then and give clothes, ornaments, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't mean that really Buddha needed to take bath, clothes, ornaments, and etc. But the ornaments are ornaments of the quality of the mind, so which we also need. The really ornament is really contentment, love, compassion, wisdom, kindness, omniscient. These are the really ornament. In order to refining this in our mind, we do various things, just kind of auspicious links. And here also says that in the text says that doesn't mean that they need wash, they are dirty, or the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas are hungry, or the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas they are looking for comfort, but like more purifying of the our clingings and rest of the our devotion, confident, and purifying of the our own defilement. So that is the reason we do that. Okay? So now this morning teaching that rituals like now until the Buddhas are invited in our temple. And then next the subject they're talking about 7 branches. And then first we do prostration and then offerings and so on and so forth. So like each sadhanas of the intensic is similarly first inviting and then like refuge, bodhicitta, the 7th branch, these are always in the tantric teaching. It's very much kind of involved with this kind of mental training through the invocation, through the prostration, through the offerings, and so on and so forth. So therefore, before we are receiving rituals, now we have done our invocations, until invocation and cleanings, or purified, and then next is for the these 7 branches. So that has also many insights. So maybe we should stop here. If we have questions, we have some time.
Then she thought that the bodhisattvas could attain enlightenment immediately, but they choose to not do. Why they don't do? Is that Buddha has some kind of not so much power if they go immediately, or?
Do you think Buddha has no power? What you came that question? I think that that doesn't mean that Buddha has no power, or Buddha has less power than Bodhisattvas. But the first you generate bodhicitta mind, the beginning, your intention is very important. The first intention that we say, okay, I will enlightenment for the sentient beings. So first that you wish to enlightenment yourself, and then I will help sentient beings. That is one thing, one way of the generate bodhicitta mind. And then another thing is, okay, I wish to enlightenment same time all sentient beings. When you first take vows, if you say like that, that is like, then you need to keep that vows also. And then the third one is, I wish to everyone enlightenment, and then I will go to enlightenment. There's 3 kind of the way of the generated bodhicitta, the beginning. That is also, I think, one reason. And then second is, I think that if you are similarly of the sentient beings, it's more useful than, you already, or more, not more useful, but maybe that is also one big difference, like if you are already Buddha, there's only Buddha and then sentient beings, and there's no between some kind of messenger, then it's too long gap, too long gap. And then some sentient beings have no merit to link directly Buddha, but they have merit to link with Bodhisattvas. So therefore, they are being in the samsara, looks like similar, they are showing a pain, sick, dying, same time. All these are the teaching, Bodhisattva's teaching. So they're showing like that way, and they're remaining more like low professional. Is correct? Enough? Okay.
It's possible as well for them to get enlightened because they will give more power to help people and to come back as a Bodhisattva as well. No? That doesn't work this way? is that he needs a lot of power to help people. And Bodhisattva, as long as you are not a Buddha, for instance, teaching and so on, it can be very dangerous because you have still those human beings staying in you, maybe. No?
Dangerous? What dangerous?
Because, like you were saying about people who pretend to be more than what they really are, it can be, and even if they are obviously bodhisattvas, they are very genuine, they are still stained by their habitual tendency. At least that's what I understood. Because they are
So if you are noble one, noble of the bodhisattvas or on the seeing path, you don't have to problem. You don't have the problem of the negative emotions and etc.
So in a way, you have left your human habitual tendencies, so you are still very much between, very close to Buddha already.
Very close to the Buddha. Yes, so it's no problem. You don't have to worry that.
I'm not worrying.
Okay.
No, it's just I would to be clear.
Right. But if you are become Buddha and you can manifesting as Bodhisattva, that also can be. You can do like that for sure. When you have become Buddha, then you can do anything. Yeah. But then also people need merit to see him. So maybe the sentient beings, if they have no merit enough, you don't see. You can't see.
But the Buddhas have ability to manifest also to those who don't have so much merit, right?
Maybe they are wrong direction then. Even Buddha came front and then you go back, and if you come there and you turn like this, so you have no eyes, no choice. Sorry?
So what about the bodhisattvas? Is it, I also try to understand this, like when you say that those who don't have so much merit, if there appears a bodhisattva, then they can somehow have...
So maybe bodhisattvas has little less, like you can say that if there's very, very strong shining, this light, you can't see. Our eyes cannot touch. But less shiny, maybe you can see. Or you can take some kind of glass, then no problem. But very strong shiny, even having glass, we cannot watch. So similarly like that.
Rinpoche, on page 93, there's a quote.
Page 93, what?
There's a quote. And you explain something about this part. May the measureless, inconceivable Buddha fields be abandoned. And I think it's quite understandable.
Buddha feels abandoned. That was my explanation, or that was translator? Page number what? 93. Where, 93?
Before, third and fourth line from above.
Measureless, inconceivable, समझी मुझे बताना हीन sentient 찌그 혀지용나 힘이 문터 니버지 세메 समझी मुझे हीन दा number 용하지. Yeah, this I think the Buddha felt be purifying, not abandoning, I think. Means that purifying of the Buddha field. So Sonje Shachat, Buddha Shachamune, he shows, by miracle he shows all universe on his hand and completely wonderful and perfect to one of his students. And then student was very surprised, wow, is this like this? how it happened now, he says. And then Buddha says, this is always is like this, but you don't see. So that means that purifying of the Buddha field means that we have to see all universe is totally pure. In order to that, we need to training. Else?
So if the lower level bodhisattva, if he accumulate more merit, then he cannot get distance to some kind of people living on the street, for example. Is it so? For example, if you think about Dalai Lama, or then some lower level bodhisattva, then is it really the virtue that kind of makes the distance?
I think merit make distance.
But the Buddhas, they cannot emanate as I think, isn't it said that the Buddhas can emanate also like whatever the sentient things need to be attained?
Right.
So why not become a Buddha? Why not become a Buddha in 7 days and do, more benefit than just as a seeing part bodhisattva?
I told you, when you are aspiration, before you take vow, that is important. So if you took vow before you are in enlightenment, and then I will manifest into the Bodhisattva or hell beings, whatever, that is also okay. There's 3 ways to take vow. Did you understood what I'm saying? There's 3 ways to take vow. Did you hear what I said?
No, but I don't know if you are talking about the same thing. I mean that if there is said that the bodhisattva who reaches the seeing part, he can enlighten within 7 days.
Yes, if we want, if we wish, if we have vow, that kind of vow.
But anyway, I mean the Buddhas, they have such miraculous abilities, they can manifest in any way.
Yes.
So isn't that kind of, in one way, better?
Oh, better. If you think better, you can do that way.
But I mean better for all of us.
Yes, all of us. But it depends the Bodhisattvas, how they took vows. As I told you many times. If he says, first I wish to enlightenment, then I will help, then you can go from seeing path. In 7 days, you can just enlighten. And then if there's someone, I don't want to go to enlightenment before all sentient beings, then he has to stay. That is like before when you take vows, it depends. So great motivation ones, they can do like, they already kind of promising, I want to go to before, like enlightenment.
You were saying we can take our guru by ourselves, but don't you think that when you have a guru already, it's best is to discuss with him and take the guru with your guru, because there is a risk that you are taking ahead of yourself and presuming too much for your own capacity, for instance. No?
What is your question?
My question is maybe, because you were saying you can take a secret vow. We can take a secret vow by saying, by ourselves in front of statue, making offering and so on, and making our vow. But
Not secret. You don't say secret. Why secret?
because
Self receiving vows,
and then another way it's
receiving from masters. Yes.
Don't you think when you have a master, automatically you are much better discussing with him and asking?
That depends on the practitioner. If you think that if you need it, then you can do that.
Because it's such a big vow.
Yes, such a big vow, yes.
It's even if your aspiration is there, maybe your capacity is not so, or you don't know. The truth is that you don't know, so maybe only your master can know.
Yes. Then you can ask master. Okay, thank you. Mm.
A little bit similar to this about these three motivations.
Mm.
And it change also. Maybe you go out as the king, and then maybe your bodhicitta grows, and maybe you turn out to be in the end.
Yeah, I think nowadays we could change, right? We are like to change. So, but wow is wow. Normally, wow means it's something once you take, and that is wow. If you always change, we don't call wow. That maybe we just say, I like it, so I took it. I don't like it, I just give it. So there's not wow. Yeah.
Rinpoche, surely
Okay.
all the Buddhas can't have lesser motivation than bodhicittas and bodhisattvas. I mean that those Buddhas that are already Buddhas, then they have gone before others, but I can't believe that they have like lower motivation than those who remain as bodhisattvas. So how is that possible?
Who says Buddha has lower motivation?
Well, they have already reached enlightenment
Yes.
because they are Buddhas.
There's no lower and high and something. There are different way to take vows. Okay? And then also other things that when you have become Buddha, then there's no such intention that I will help or I will not help. Everything like dependent on the sentient beings. But the Bodhisattvas, they can still have some wish. I can help and this because they are not completely, conception is not completely dissolved. Those also have, there is power, but same time they have wish. I want to be born here, and I want to go there, and they have wish. The Buddha have no such thoughts, so more like wish-fulfilled gem, dependent on the sentient being's merit. But there is no, like Buddha is lost or lesser or Bodhisattva's high, it doesn't like that. Yeah, Marianne.
I want to ask a question about karma. Like if a child is born with a deformation or some deficiency, or if a child is born in a country where there is war, would you say that this is the karma of the child or the karma of the parents or what?
Oh, there is karma of child as well as I think karma of parents, because parents must be also somewhere there, right? So I think the first book, they're talking about the similarity of the result and continuation of the result. There's power of the result. They have kind of they explain very well about these things. So you should read the first chapter. They call karma and cause and conditions, and some of the pages they have very details. Yeah.
My question is that I always like the shift of attitude.
That's good.
All sentient beings and go to hell everywhere.
Oh.
Everywhere to hell. But then during teachings, Rinpoche, sometimes you said that we have to first, like yesterday also mentioned, that we have to first realize the nature of our vice in ourselves. Otherwise we cannot help. And also knowing that from one point higher and higher, one has much more abilities, one can help benefit more and more the sentient beings.
Yes.
So my question is, how to keep this motivation together, both Shepat motivation, and then if I want to benefit limitless sentient beings, so I have really a lot of work, a lot of lifetimes without any fear like this. But how to keep, progression? Shall I really strive to reach, until the 10th week? Or should I just relax, and just do my best in any kind of situation without this great realization, like, shall I really do so much, to quickly realize?
But do you think that helping sentient beings busy for you, busy because helping sentient beings, so therefore you don't have time for the realization, or what you mean? Oh yes, but what is your meaning? So if you're helping sentient beings, that is also cause and condition of the having realization.
This is true, Rinpoche. But I want to refer to one situation from my life.
Mm.
My guru was passing away, and he was in very deep suffering,
Mm.
really deep suffering. And I was standing there crying, and I wanted to take a testimony.
Mm.
And then telling me that I'm not able to take the suffering.
Mm.
So, but it was good thought, but he takes it upon this. And then with this motivation, sometimes, I'm sorry, I'm very emotional, I know. But sometimes I want to take, but I know that I'm not able to take,
Mm.
because I'm too emotional, and sometimes, I can react, in a proper way. So, my question is, how to deal those two things, this motivation of Sherpa and putting myself in that, take everything that counts, and have clarity and all the teachings to take the heart and then everything, understanding. And, I just cannot put those two things together still.
I think it's very important to do what you can do, because they have like progressive, the accumulation part, join part, seeing part, and so on and so forth. So if we are on the accumulation path, and if you hope and wish to do such bodhisattva who were in the seeing path, that you cannot do. And we have to do what you can do, around you, how much you can do. That is important. So for example, I think when we talk about generosity, they're talking about generosity, like great generosity is giving even your parts of your body. So they clearly they mentioned, but this is something that, someone who really seeing of the seeing path, and those beings, they can do, even they give the part of the bodies. But someone bodhisattva who are not that level, still they try to give like part of the body, that is not work. That is not become good result, So therefore, if something we cannot, then we don't have power, so we have to wait. That is best solution. Mm. Sunam daye damje zebanya dana nyimbe danam bamje ye gana je bala duba ye zebedol dova yo yonje zanjo rumba je ma ye banam ye ba nyamba me ba yon gone gonda ba yo